From the Colorado Rockies to the Napa Valley, this talented winemaker has been wrangling amazing wines since the 80s, and now he's launched his own brand. Meet Trujillo Wines. Yes, well, we're so excited to be here today. So to start with, let's go way back, and I understand that you actually first fell in love with wine in the Napa Valley on spring break.
It was a spring break. I grew up in Colorado. After high school, I went to school in Northwestern Colorado, and being a farm boy, and I wasn't destined to become a doctor or a brain surgeon or anything. So I loved building. I loved creating. I loved building with my hands. So engineering was kind of a shoe-in for me. I was sort of dreaming that I'd be the guy that would build that next skyscraper in Denver or some bridge or something like that. I was whiz in school. Luckily, I have a mathematical brain where architectural and engineering all sort of weave together. I love to draw. My junior year, almost done with my journey of architectural degree. I took off on a road trip with a bunch of buddies, headed west for no other reason than to hit the ocean and honestly, probably check out the girls on the beach and stuff like that.
Well, that goes without saying.
But you get a bunch of farm boys that show up in Huntington Beach, LA. It was quite overwhelming. So we pull into Sequoia Grove. This is in 1981. So here we are, I was a junior in college, in them days, big hair, flannel shirts. And we pile out. Jim Allen welcomed us with open arms. And being farm kids, we all jumped out and helped Jim establish and build and work in the winery. We worked like oxen. That evening, his wife would put together this beautiful spread out under the stars, out on the lawn. And it's just this sort of what you see on TV, this Napa Valley life. And so I call up my mother, and I said, Mom, I promise, I'm just gonna take one semester off. I just want to take a little more dose of this California thing. I like it. Jim Allen and the family are treating me well. Well, 37 years, I'm still taking that semester off.
Well, I think you did okay for yourself, so that's all right.
Yeah.
So that basically kind of launched you into a world of winemaking now that's stretching almost to 4 decades, 37 years?
Yes. However, I didn't grow up with a wine culture. I mean, in Colorado, we grew a lot of barley for Coors, beer. My dad farmed about 3,000 acres. I grew up on a beer, whiskey sort of culture, and fine wine wasn't into my veins. Through help of Jim Allen, my first job in California was actually establishing a vineyard, which is today Domaine Carneros.
Really?
And in them days, back in the early 80s, that was all pasture, all cattle, all pasture. So my first couple years was actually in the vineyard. The most key person in my life and my mentor is a gentleman named Andre Chelachev. And
I know that name.
I started working with him in the vineyard before I started working with him with wine.
Wow.
So it was amazing. Fast forward a year or two, more of those dinners under the stars. You're now enthralled in the Napa Valley lifestyle. You're drinking wine, you're trying wine, and then I just got bit. I think I was one of the first winemakers to take the combination of Rutherford Valley floor fruit and sort of combine it with that sort of spicier, more intense mountain fruit. Became known as the cult wine without the cult price.
So now you've got to the point now you had launched about 4 years ago, you said, the Trujillo, your own label. Tell me about kind of the culmination of what that feels like to finally launch something under your own family name and what that means to you.
Super exciting. Looking back and mentioning what we just talked about, Carl Lawrence was a very, very fun project, very fun run. I learned a lot. I met a lot of people in this industry. Under the time with Carl Lawrence and Sequoia Grove, I probably have made wine from every square mile within Napa Valley. So when it was time for me to go out on my own, I had a vision, I had an idea, I had a dream of exactly what I wanted to do. I knew which vineyards I wanted to continue working with, and the key word is continue. I knew my style. You know, in the 90s, I knew I'm unique. My style's unique. I'm very varietal expressive. I have what is oftentimes called a little bit more polished wine rather than a very, I mean, I'm not over opulent. I don't do that on purpose. I do that on purpose. Very focused, very varietal, very fruit forward. Texture is rich but not aggressive, and it's my style, and I'm very proud of it. And I know in my heart that it works.
Cheers to Trujillo wine, and
cheers.
thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
We have been following Michael Trujillo's decorated winemaking career for years, and so when we found out he was launching his own wine brand, we absolutely knew we wanted to feature him. We are so excited to bring you this opportunity, so be sure to order today, and thank you for your support.